getting ready to pull out this Froling T4 150 combustion chamber so that I can flip it around and change the feed side from the left to the right over here. So I have to pull it out, reverse at 180 degrees. To do this, I have cut off an old lawnmower blade, and I have an eye hook rigged to a cable, and I'm going to stick this lawnmower blade in through this hole so that it's supported on both sides. And I'm going to pull back to this pulley, which is then going to pull on the forklift with this come along. Pulley now. It's tied back to the forklift. Here's my other anchor point, and here is the physical advantage to come along. Okay, it's time to start pulling. That didn't work. My forklift is rolling. Guess we got to start over with some chocks behind the wheels. Okay, now I've got some wheel chocks. Hopefully that'll keep the forklift from moving anymore. The combustion chamber is starting to move. We've made some progress, so that's positive. We know we're going to make this work. I've tried to keep enough space between the combustion chamber and the pulley to allow the entire combustion chamber to get pulled out onto the forks so that I can spin it around. As well, I've tried to leave enough room over here to have the come along take up the excess cable. And I'm pulling straight from this pulley to the combustion chamber, so fingers crossed. I'm going to start pulling the combustion chamber out, and once I know how that's going, I'm going to stop and I'm going to grease these fork extensions so that we've got better sliding, less friction. The combustion chamber is now on the forks. It's coming out of the front of the boiler, and it's time to grease the skids. I've just used an old paintbrush and some cheap all-purpose grease. The skids are all greased. I should call them fork extensions. And it's time to start pulling again. Sorry for the rough camera work. It's hard to operate the come along and pull the combustion chamber out at the same time. But as you can see, it's moving out quite nicely. Okay, so I've got the combustion chamber most of the way out, but I'm pulling slightly crooked, and so it's jammed. I don't know if it's actually jammed on the fork skids, the extensions, or not, but I'm gonna pause. And while I pause, I just wanted to show you what's going on inside here. Now you can see the back of the combustion chamber, you can see the ash auger, and you're looking through to the other side where the boiler was originally set up to feed. Okay, so I think I was getting hung up on the auger a little bit. So I've just put this block of wood, I've cut it just the right height to hold the auger centered in the combustion chamber so that the flights of the auger, the ash auger, don't get hung up on the backside of the combustion chamber. I think that the combustion chamber is more than halfway out of the boiler. So from here, I'm going to start the forklift and try to just even up the forks a little bit and back out with the combustion chamber. Okay, so while I had the camera off, I just stood at the retort, at the combustion chamber, and I was able to pull it out by hand onto the forks. With all the grease underneath, it moved quite nicely onto the forks. The auger is completely free, and I'm going to back the rest of the way out now. Okay, I've got the combustion chamber completely out of the boiler now, and I am going to set it on its middle so that I can come in from the other side of it, and after I've swapped everything around from one side to the other, I'll pick it up on the opposite side and push it back in. This is what we're left with on the inside. That's all for now. So I've reversed the tipping grate actuator connections, and I have reinstalled the block-off plates on what will now be the back side of the boiler. And I have set the combustion chamber down on these blocks so I can get my forks out, and now I'm going to drive around. I'm going to pick it up from the other side and put it into the boiler. Okay, so I've just driven the combustion chamber back at the boiler, and just very carefully getting everything aligned, and I've made sure that my auger is into the center of the hole. This is definitely a job that would be easier with two people, but today it's just me, and it seems to be going okay. But yeah, this is sort of a crux move, and so far it's going all right. It's a fairly tight fit, the combustion chamber, so actually it's makes that a little bit easier to line it up with the opening in the boiler. Okay, I've got the combustion chamber nicely started in the boiler now, and actually with the greased forks and the greased interior of the boiler, it slides quite easily by hand. So I've just been nudging it into place, so you can see I'm going to re-pick with the forklift now that I've got it firmly anchored in the boiler, and I'll push it the rest of the way in with the boiler, with the forklift.